I've been trying for the last 6 months to find the perfect granola bar recipe for toddlers. I found that many of the healthier recipes create crumbly bars, which causes big car seat messes. The non-crumbly kind are basically Rice Krispie treats. The goal was to find the perfect granola bar, one that can travel nicely, is somewhat healthy, not terribly expensive, and most importantly, does not create a huge mess in the van. In this video, I try out many recipes, go through many failed attempts, in search of the elusive perfect granola bar. In the beginning of this process, I started out with the granola bars that I had in my cookbooks at home. First, I went to my trusty old mentor, Hope from Hope's Table. So to be fair, she does have her granola bars listed under the dessert section because they really are desserts. They held together very nicely. The ingredients were basically what you use to make Rice Krispies, plus chocolate chips and oatmeal. So these reminded me of like the cheap ones you can buy at the store, but not the organic section. It's basically a chocolate chip cookie. I wanted something that I could feel a little bit better about feeding my kids, something to tide them over between meal times. After that, I went to Food from the Heart and tried out their perfect bar recipe. Now, this one is pretty healthy. It's got almond flour, which I feel like gives it, a little more substance, oatmeal, coconut oil, peanut butter, and it's got coconut flakes and chocolate chips. It still is like a sweet treat, more of a dessert, but it's definitely taken a few steps up the ladder of how healthy it is. But the problem with this one is it does not stay together well. You just mix the ingredients and put it in the fridge or the freezer, and I just found that as soon as you unwrapped these from saran wrap, especially when you take them out of the fridge, it just kind of caused a big crumbly granola mess. My kids did like these. They did eat these. I really do enjoy these with like a cup of coffee in the morning. But is it the perfect toddler granola bar? No. Then I went to my healthiest cookbook. This is the first recipe that I had tried that had you bake the granola bars. And they were not good. I did make these with chocolate chips, not with M&Ms. I don't think I filmed any of it. The author said their kids liked them, but my kids were not impressed. I saw another healthy recipe from the From Scratch Farmhouse. This one uses honey as the combining ingredient. Same thing as the perfect bars from the Food from the Heart. They just really crumbled. These actually felt like very similar ingredients. It's just a little bit more honey. They still have to be kept in the fridge, and they just don't hold together well. The next recipe was from Love and Lemons. They look like that Sunbelt Bakery brand in the picture. As I was making it, I was like, no, another crumbly recipe. But then I added just a tiny bit more peanut butter, and it held together well. They taste very peanut buttery. Have to be stored in the fridge. But they did last in the van for a few hours before the kids ate them, and they didn't make too much of a mess. The kids really liked these. I did too. They remind me a lot of like those protein balls you sometimes have after a baby. Still, I was looking for something just a bit sturdier. Out of all the recipes, Hope's Table was winning by far in the sturdiness category, and the combining agent she uses is marshmallows. So I decided to create a recipe using marshmallows instead of honey, but trying to still use some of the other healthier ingredients. So with my first attempt, I tried using coconut oil to melt the marshmallows, and it just didn't quite work well. So I committed to the butter and the marshmallows, but I did add chia seeds, raisins, Rice Krispies, peanut butter, and oats. These turned out really good. I drizzled the top with dark chocolate and some sea salt. And I realized after that this makes it messier than necessary because as soon as the bars get warm, there's melted chocolate everywhere. So I did round 2 with the same recipe, but instead of chia seeds, I did ground flax seeds. And instead of raisins, I used craisins, and then I also added in crushed cashews. So these were topped with mini chocolate chips, a few extra craisins, and a sprinkle of coarse sea salt. And here is the result. I was very happy with it. They were able to be stored in the pantry. They held together very well. I even did pack them for a beach day and was still able to eat one on the way home. I mean, the chocolate had melted a tiny bit, but other than that, it wasn't messy at all. I also had my husband try the 4 bars used in the thumbnail picture. He chose this one as the best one with 0 prompting from me. He did say the 11 lemons one looked the best, but this one was the best tasting. So here it is, the final bar. It is easy to make, healthy-ish. It can be stored in the pantry. Kids like it. And it makes mom life just a little less messy. The recipe is below in the notes, and we'll see you next time.